System design is natural, but so is the path of least resistance and the Turing conflict. I've worked with a company over the last couple of years, a young company as it grew from startup to a more established operation, helping to build a number of functions along the way, departments. And so I know a little thing about system design. Right now, as I try to develop this this last one, it's more challenging than any of the others, and I'm getting a lot of insights from it. System design is natural, but so is the path of least resistance. If you think about it, systems are basically our way of combating the path of least resistance. There's always an outcome to any system, and everything's full of systems if you think about it. Or if you want to think about things in that way, on the material plane, it's all systems. Like my legs right now, as I bend my legs, they're a system. There's always a goal to a system. There are inputs, outputs, and a lot of system design is organic. It's natural. We're basically designing a system when we learn to do a new skill. Mental representations of the outcome we need to achieve, and engagement of muscles if that's involved in the skill or whatever, knowledge base. And so it's actually very human. And I think one of the problems with that people have with systems is that they typically are just, writing something down and trying to get other people to try to force people into it. A better approach is the system design method where people adapt and improve their own systems over time. However, the path of least resistance is always there. Like the path of least resistance is just entropy. It's what happens when the system is not functioning or there is no system there. The system's only there because there's a goal, and you want the goal more than you want to relax. And so the path of least resistance will lead people to disengage with that system if they just, they learn their own tasks, their own systems so well. Oddly enough, if it goes really well and everything's well written and stuff, then that might be even more reason why it falters, because they don't need it anymore. They don't need to look anything up, and it starts to collect dust and they start to drift. And so you need to be the one who holds that, who brings their attention back. You need to both encourage and punish, I guess. If you got to put the incentives in place that that they're essentially forced to come back and engage with it. And they have to be forced to improve it. They have to be forced to make it better for themselves often, because people will just slip into not engaging with it, and then it starts to decay, and it's not good for them, not good for anybody. But it's the easier option, and so you have to make it the not easier option. And it really is better for everybody engaging with it, though, because it means that it's not, it doesn't get dusty. I mean, Delta males especially, I think, don't want to impose often on something, so they won't give suggestions on how to improve it. I think a huge part of system design and keeping it healthy over time is by, pushing your deltas to come back and basically holding them to account if they don't give any suggestions, in a certain given period of time, because you need those suggestions to keep coming. And a lot of people kind of need to be forced to do that, or at least they need to be, encouraged. It's not like you're going to fire them if they don't, give some suggestion. But a lot of people don't need that much encouragement. They just need a bit. And once they do, then it improves the system. It means that what they're doing, it feels like almost like building muscle, because they could tell that what they're doing has improved, that they figured out, if they figure out a slightly better way to do something, and then that gets put into a system suggestion instead of just done and then left alone, then it's almost like building a muscle over time, because it's, you won't just be forgotten. The number of things I've done and just, I either have to learn it again the next time, or, it's just lost because I didn't capture it, because it was easier not to. It's a path of least resistance. It was easier just to not to. And so that's why people need a bit of encouragement. Yeah. I'll leave it there. Yeah. Thanks for watching if you did. Bye.